Okay, good evening. Okay, gusto na kayo, ano? So, hopefully, actually, it's always been a joy for me to be here. Especially seeing yung mga last year na CLS participants, yes, Mark, and also, I'm really glad to see some familiar faces, like si Kim, si Mervin, si Yasser. It's really good, ano? It's, nakakabata actually, di ba sabi nga nila kung sino yung, tell me who your friends are and I will tell you who my friends are. So, yung sabihin, kumbaga, kung mga kasama mo, mga bata, ikaw din mga bata. So yun, and when I was asked to give this presentation, syempre, dahil galing lingkod ako eh. So talagang, my heart will always be to serve the Lord through lingkod. So, ayun, so kagaya nung nasabi ni, best friend ni JP, no? Ayan, so yun yung pinakamatinding credential now. So, ayun, but of course, being a brother to most of you here, it's always a joy to be here, standing here, speaking and talking about who God is and what He has done in my life. And, HLRB stands for Housing and Land Use Regulatory Board. So basically, yung trabaho namin, we regulate subdivisions, basically all about real estate. Brokers, subdivisions, homeowners association, yan. So, nakakatuwa naman na meron palang isang kawanin ng gobyerno. Nasaan siya? Anong agency ka? Sorry, ginulo kita sa pagkain. Anong agency mo? DepEd. Okay. So, good. So, yun, nakakatuwa lang na, of course, just to give you a sharing, brothers and sisters, hindi ko ni-envision na maging part ako ng government. Dahil I've also worked for more than 8 years sa private, and pagka-graduate ko actually, wala talaga akong plano na magtrabaho sa government eh. Pero, of course, out of circumstances, and I think it was also the leading from the Lord, na nag-work ako sa government. And hopefully, of course, it's always my hope and dream na magkaroon ng bagong pananaw sa lahat ng mga kawani ng gobyerno. And hindi lang sa mga kawani ng gobyerno, pero more importantly is tayo mga young professionals, young working professionals. Actually, it's really a blessing just to be here. Alam ko, most of you were dragged. I hope wala naman trilak sa inyo na pumunta rito, no? Pero whatever the circumstance that you are here, believe that the Lord is the one who made this initiative, who made this thing possible. So, without further ado, brothers and sisters, pwede ko ba itawagin brothers and sisters? Pwede na ba? Hindi ba? Okay sa inyo, okay lang ha? Okay. So, before anything else, nakita na to ng mga CLS participants last year, pero gusto ko sana magkaroon ng twist. Okay lang ba, mag role playing tayo? So, tatlo lang naman yung characters dito eh. Isang narrator, yung tatay na hair, tsaka yung bata na hair. Ako yung narrator, yung mga brothers, sila yung tatay na hair. Okay ba yun? Tapos yung mga sisters, sila yung batang hair. Batang rabbit, yun. So okay lang ba yun? Mag-ano lang tayo. Parang role playing, parang sagutan lang. Okay. Okay. So yeah, okay. So guess how much I love you. Yeah. So it's a children's story. So ako yung narrator, ha? Ayan. So little nut brown hair, who was going to bed, held on tight to big nut brown hair's very long ears. So brothers, kayo yung big nut brown hair, yung sisters, siya yung little nut brown hair. He wanted to be sure that big nut brown hair was listening.
Yes, how much I love you.
He said,
"Oh, I don't think I could guess that,"
said big nut brown hair.
This much,
Said little nut brown hair, stretching out his arms as wide as they could go. Big nut brown hair had even longer arms.
"But I love you this much,"
He said. That is a lot, thought little nut brown hair.
I love you as high as I can reach.
Said little nut brown hair.
I love you as high as I can reach.
Said big nut brown hair. That is quite high, thought little nut brown hair. I wish I had arms like that. Then little nut brown hair had a good idea. He tumbled upside down and reached up the tree trunk with his feet.
I love you all the way up to my toes.
He said,
And I love you all the way up to your toes.
said big nut brown hair, swinging him up over his head.
I love you as high as I can hop.
Laughed little nut brown hair, bouncing up and down.
But I love you as I can hop.
Smiled big nut brown hair, and he hopped so high that his ears touched the branches above. That's good hopping, thought little nut brown hair. I wish I could hop like that.
I love you all the way down the lane as far as the river.
Cried little nut brown hair.
I love you across the river and over the hills.
Said big nut brown hair. That's very far, thought little nut brown hair. He was almost too sleepy to think anymore. Then he looked beyond the thorn bushes, out into the big dark night. Nothing could be further than the sky. So sleepy na si little nut brown hair.
I love you right up to the moon.
He said, and closed his eyes.
Oh, that's far.
Said big nut brown hair.
That's very far.
Big nut brown hair settled little nut brown hair into his bed of leaves. He leaned over and kissed him goodnight. Then he lay down close by and whispered with a smile,
I love you right up to the moon and back.
So nakita niyo yung story. So palakpakan muna natin yung bawat isa. So nakita ninyo no, yung relationship ng mag-amang hair. Kung gaano kamahal ng anak, yung tatay, pero kung gaano mas kamahal ng big nut brown hair, si little nut brown hair. I love you right up to the moon and back. When I heard this story the first time, I was really struck. Kasi it's also reflective of how God loves us. God says to us, guess how much I love you. We are all very familiar with this verse, di ba? John 3:16. Can we all read this?
God so loved the world that he gave his only son, that whoever believes in him shall not perish but have eternal life.
So yun know, dun sa first talks, I think some of you here are present na dun sa first two meetings, ano? And it all talks about how God loves us, and out of that love, He gave His only Son, Jesus Christ. Now, my presentation for tonight will be about what was Jesus' mission. Pasintabi na lang po dun sa mga dun sa mga last year. Kung mapapansin nyo, for sure alam nyo na medyo hindi ko binago yung background. Pero I hope na not only for the new participants, but also yung mga datihan na. I hope and I pray that there will be a new perspective for this particular presentation. Okay, excuse. So, ngayon, the world situation. Alam naman natin ngayon na yung mundo ngayon, ang ginagalaw natin mundo ngayon ay kakaiba yung panahon ng mga lolo natin, yung mga lolo at lolo natin, ibang-iba na ngayon. Ewan ko lang pero madalas ako, nakakarinig ako na yung mga masatatanda sana, during our time, yung mga panahon namin, iba yung yung mga panahon noon, mapapait pa yung mga tao noon. Ewan ko lang kung may experience na mga ganyan, or yung mga bata ngayon, iba na. Bati nung panahon namin, yung mga bata parang magagalang pa ngayon. Pasaway na daw yung mga bata. But, that's on a very small context. Pero sa world situation ngayon, ang dami-dami na, dami-dami ng mga issues, hindi lang about politics. I mean, we are all very familiar kung ano yung mga issues na nangyayari ngayon sa mundo. And tayo, of course, automatic naman yun eh, na, yun nga, may environmental issues, global issues, poverty, and us, of course, young as we are, we want to make something out of this. We want to make a change out of ourselves. Diba? Minsan, diba? Ewan ko lang kung naririnig or nagkakaroon ng 2020 encounter na, bakit kami ganito? Or bakit sila mayaman? Or bakit sila ganun, diba? Or bakit sila parang, I mean, ewan ko lang kung kayo nakaranas din na gano'n, na bakit sila ganito, bakit kami ganyan, bakit iba na ang mundo, bakit ang dami, bakit magulo, bakit may mga naghihirap, bakit may mga nagkakasakit, bakit ito nangyari sa tao ito na napakabait naman niya, ba't gano'n na nangyari sa kanya? At bakit naman itong tao ito, napaka-bad niya, pero parang nagpo-prosper pa rin. So these are different situations na tayo, bilang tao, we make up something na, yun nga yung philosophy, yung out of these issues, out of the very different issues na nangyayari sa mundo, us as people, as a person, we think of solutions, we think of things that we want to do just to change them. And yan, ito mga issues na to, it has, itong mga issues na to, 50 years ago, 100 years ago, naging issues na yan, na hanggang ngayon, nandyan pa rin. Yan pa rin yung mga issues, poverty, ngayon, diba, may climate change ngayon, yung bagong issue yan. Racism, during yung time ko, yung Gulf War, ewan ko malamang hindi pa pinanganak pinanganak ng 1990s. Millennials na lang. So, di ba? So, during yung time na yung 90s, war yung pinag-uusapan eh. Pero yung kung bumove pa tayo, yung mga lolo't lola natin, mga World War II, mga World War II ang usapan. Ngayon, wala nang World War ngayon, pero ibang klaseng war, I know, kayo as millennials, may mga war din kayo na pinagdadaanan. Hindi man siya on a global scale, pwedeng on a personal scale, pero parang generally lahat tayo nakakaramdam doon. And madalas, yung mga solutions natin, di ba? For example, kung poverty, dapat pantay-pantay lahat. Or pag equal rights, ganyan, no? Parang dapat yata, doon naman pumasok yung mga iba't ibang ideologies like yung socialism, yung parang dapat walang ownership, dapat kumbaga kung ano yung kay Pedro, gano'n din yung kay Juan, pare-pareho na lang, pantay-pantay lahat. Eh, dito, no, tayo, of course, human as we are, we want to solve these things to mga different issues, but for sure, even yung mga time ng mga lolo't lola natin, yung mga problema ito, trinay naman nilang sinolve. But for some reason, bakit nandiyan pa rin? Yes, even ngayon, di ba? Even sa government natin, of course, very familiar kayo dun sa very strict stance ng government, especially in of course, in different issues eh. Pero how come meron pa rin eh? Meron pa rin crime. Meron pa rin corruption. Whether yes, the lesson siya, pero there's still evil that lurks sa mundo natin, sa surroundings natin. Pero, Brother Pao, ba't ko isipin yung problema ng mundo? Isipin ko muna yung problema ko. Of course, all of us, gusto natin, di ba? I mean, all of us here are young professionals. We want to raise our level, kung ano man yung ano natin. So, of course, sa atin, gusto natin umangat sa buhay, gusto natin mag-own ng ganito, ganyan. Pero at times, we also feel that there are things na, like for example, depression. Ngayon, dati wala namang depression, di ba? Pero ngayon, meron sinasabing clinical depression. Before, when we talk about suicide, hindi yan pinag-uusapan, pero ngayon, parang very prevalent na. Bakit? Kahit na sabihin natin na, of course, there were advances in technology, umangat na yung buhay ng tao in a way one or another, marami ng vaccines na ginawa to lengthen yung buhay ng tao. Pero how come, marami pa rin mga problema na kinakaharap ang tao ngayon. Parang hindi talaga perfect ng tao ang mundo. Bakit nga ba? However, brothers and sisters, God's original intention for creation here in this earth is not seen in the world today. God's plan was to have a world of peace, joy, and harmonious relationship. A world that did not have war, sickness, and death. His original plan is that mankind reign with Him in the universe. We are all very familiar with the Genesis story. Tama ba? Hello? Ayan. So, tayo lahat, di ba, familiar tayo sa story na God's original intention for creation, hindi natin nakikita ngayon. I had the privilege weeks ago to go to Mount Samat. So, siyempre, first time ko na makatungtong dun sa Dambana. Of course, kasama ko yung daughter ko, si Tia. Siyempre yun, wala ka natatakutan yun eh. So, akyat kami doon sa pinaka-top end. I just really had this perspective, this picture na, imagine ninyo, we had a team building. So, wala munang work. Basically, partial yun eh. Rest and recreation talaga. And I really had the chance to see yung view ng bundok. And tapos malakas pa yung hangin. Yung parang, imagine niyo na wala kayong inaalalang deadline, wala kayong inaalalang problema sa bahay, nandun lang kayo dun sa Dambana, tinitingnan niyo lang yung kabundukan. Kumbaga, right at that moment, I just really felt, wow, this I think is heaven is about. Yung walang problema, walang deadline na minimit, wala akong inaalalang problema in a while, just for that few seconds, na-realize ko na ang ganda-ganda pala ng lilikha ng Diyos. And nakakatuwa pa, I was stunned by this. Yung Dambana. So talagang hindi ko mapigilan na picturean ko to. Na parang, yes, parang sinasabi ng Diyos na, yes, I am here. I am here. I am very present in your life. So yung nakakatuwa na that this is the very intention why God created us. Remember that in the Genesis story, yun naman talagang purpose ni God eh. Linikha niya tayo out of love. Hindi dahil parang lang, may ginawa akong tao, I will be your God and you will be mine. Hindi, out of love. Out of love to enjoy His presence, to enjoy His glory. And that is the very essence why God created us. Mahal tayo ng Panginoon. However, nangyari. What happened? Bakit? Bakit nagkaganyan na nasira yung intention ni God? Huwag kayo magugulat dito alam ko, relate kayo rito. Oo, tama. Tatak yan ng isang sikat na inumin. Pero actually, I want to focus here. Before the fall of man, it was the fall of Lucifer. I think all of us know, I think from our preparatory education, who Lucifer is. He was the angel of God before. He was the perfect angel. But out of pride, out of his eagerness to be higher than the one who created him, he called other angels to his allegiance to battle God. But of course, actually San Miguel is Saint Michael, so Michael the Archangel. So Michael the Archangel, of course, yung loyal angel ni God, tinalo sila Lucifer. And actually, before the fall of man, nauna muna yung fall of Lucifer. So of course, natalo nga si Lucifer, but out of that, talagang ang vengeance ni Lucifer is not, hindi man siya, natalo man siya, but he wanted to take us away from Him. Basically, yan ang very reason bakit pagkakaroon ng this attachment sa atin. Kaya nga tayo na-detach kay God. So basically, in simple terms, man and God, they have a very close personal relationship. But because of sin, naputol yung relationship natin kay God. And because of Jesus Christ, because of His sacrifice on the cross, He once again mended that particular detachment of God with man. So, very clear ba? Am I still with you, brothers and sisters?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. Bro, how? Bakit kailangan ba mapako ni Jesus sa cross? Buti hindi siya ginilutin, buti hindi bakit on the cross? Why did Jesus have to do or have to die the way that he did? He was the Son of God. Bakit kailangan yung mamatay? Una-una. Pasensya na lang, brothers and sisters, I am not a catechist, but I have asked a particular person, very I think this particular priest would give us an idea. He will give us an idea of this particular video. Why did Jesus have to die the way that he did? Actually, foreigner pa to, talagang hinila pa to. And some of you may be familiar with him. He is Archbishop Robert Barron. So this will be around 5 minutes. So I would just like to ask for your indulgence to just listen to this particular video.
The question of the meaning of Jesus' death has echoed up and down the centuries. Very recently, of course, with Mel Gibson's movie, it's on the minds of a lot of people. Why did Jesus have to go through this terrible ordeal? What's the meaning of his death? Let me get at it this way. Jesus comes as a warrior. C.S. Lewis said he came the way he did, a little baby born in a distant outpost of the Roman Empire, because he was being snuck clandestinely behind enemy lines. Jesus came as God's own self, but entering into a dysfunctional world, a sinful world. And therefore, as he emerged, preaching and teaching and performing miracles and radiating the divine presence, he awakened opposition. And we hear that up and down the Gospels, don't we? From the very beginning, he's opposed. Herod tries to stamp him out, and he has to go into exile. From the minute he appears in the public scene, some cheer, others are opposed to him. It comes to its climax, of course, in the Passion. When you read these great Passion narratives in the Gospels, it's as though all forms of human sin and dysfunction come to meet him. We hear, for example, of the explicit betrayal of Judas, that you would turn your back on your friend and your mentor. But you also see the more subtle forms of resistance and denial. So when Peter denies that he even knows him, when the other disciples fall asleep at his moment of truth, that sloth in the presence of the good. You also see the great disorder and injustice of the Sanhedrin. You see Pontius Pilate, who knows the truth but won't follow through on it. You see the incredible brutality of the temple guards and the Roman guards as they torture him and then lead him out to crucifixion. You see something I find maybe even most terrible. Those who would mock him even as he hangs dying on this instrument of torture. It's as though all of human darkness, all of human sin comes out. It's as though he draws it out by his own goodness and by his own perfection and the radiance of his life. And he's overwhelmed by it. Jesus dies. He really dies. Not just apparently, not just as a play acting. He dies, crushed by the evil of the world. But then, in the resurrection, God's love conquers that evil. He took it on. But then in the resurrection, what we see when Jesus says, Shalom, to those who would abandon him. He says peace to those who would run from him, those who had fallen asleep in his hour of need. When he says shalom, it signals that God's love and forgiveness can swallow up all the sin of the world. What you see in the cross of Jesus is the sin of the world. The author of life came, St. Peter said, and you killed him. That means all is not well with us. It means you can see in the very wounds of Jesus the dysfunction of the world. But now, all that sin, all that dysfunction has been swallowed up, has been conquered by the ever greater forgiveness and love of God. And that's why in Romans, Paul can say, I'm certain that neither death nor life, nor angels, nor principalities, nor height, nor depth, nor any other power can separate us from the love of God. Paul knows it because we killed God. We threw all the dysfunction of the world at God, and God still loves us. God can swallow that up in His forgiveness. That's Christianity. And that's why the cross of Jesus was necessary. That's why the cross of Jesus saves us. That's why we hold it up on Good Friday and we say, there's the cross on which hung the salvation of the world, right? We know that we're saved. We are saved precisely through that terrible cross.
So just watching this video, parang nakaka-overwhelmed. The cross of Christ is basically the expression of God's love to each one of us. Alam na alam ng Diyos, of course, all throughout history, He knew that in order for us to be saved, not only from sin, not only to be saved from the evil one, for us to regain that particular relationship that we had previously, He had to give up His Son. Kagaya na sinabi ni Archbishop Barron, all the human darkness He swallowed up because out of His great love, hindi yun kayang patumbahin ng sin, ng death, and even in Lucifer. And because of that, there's no other recourse. There's no other recourse it's either for us, yun yung kagandahan ng pag-ibig ng Panginoon eh. Tayong lahat binigyan tayo ng free will. Ako, bilang ama, yun nga, nasabi ko nga na I have a 6-year-old daughter. Of course, I would know what is good for my daughter. Yung parang pagbabawalan mo, don't do this, don't do that. Pero, hindi ko talaga ma-imagine. Of course, being a parent, I couldn't imagine myself allowing my daughter to, of course, knowing her, na 6 years old pa lang siya, hindi pa siya makapag-decide for herself. Parang hindi ko ma-imagine na bibigyan ko siya ng free will na, Papa, alis muna ako, pupunta ako ng SM downtown, kunwari. Ako siya lang mag-isa. So parang, di ba, parang automatic yung bilang pero hindi ka pupunta ng SM downtown na ikaw lang mag-isa. I will be with you. But yun nga, when we talk about God's love, hindi talaga siya, it's beyond human understanding. Giving us the free will to choose Him or not to choose Him. That's how God loves us very much. Mabilis ba? Okay lang ba tayo? So, kagaya na sinabi ko, I'm not really a catechist, but just to give you a share, 13 years ago, I'm also, especially sa mga CLS participants, 13 years ago, I was also sitting where you are sitting. I'm listening. Actually, kasi noong time, before, ako yung tipo na kalat-kari. Ako lang kung same di ba yung term niyo pag may nag-aya sa'yo, punta tayo dito, ganyan na yan. Kung parang wala ka namang dahilan na tumanggi, sige. So, yun nga kalat-kari. So, parang kahit saan, pwede kang hilahin. And, ako kasi, actually, I would say na, I'm just a normal person. Kumbaga, hindi naman ako nagda-drugs, hindi naman ako nagda-drugs, hindi naman ako pasaway. At times masaway, oo. Pero, yung typical lang na nag-aaral sa nagsisimba pag Sunday, pero yun nga, parang Sunday Catholic lang, paglabas ng misa, parang I go ahead with what I want to do. Tapos, sa work din, ganun din. Ayun nga, hindi naman ako pasaway, hindi naman ako durugista, pero of course, I do my own thing. Ang pananaw ko lang kasi noon, as long na wala akong pinag-permission tao, I'm okay. So, of course, our family is Catholic, but we're not practicing Catholics. Natatandaan ko lang noon, ang lola ko lang noon ang nagtuturo sa amin ng rosary. Pero of course, sumakabilang buhay na siya. So, after high school, parang wala na Parang wala nang kumbaga, bahala ka na sa buhay mo. Kung gusto mo magsimba, mag-isa akong sisimba. Kung di ako sisimba, wala namang magbabawal sa akin. So, basically, ganun lang yung kinalakan ko. And, I was invited to attend an event just like this. Actually, ano nga email lang email, wala man talaga lang nag-invite sa akin na parang office mate or friend. Actually, yung nag-invite sa akin is through an email. Classmate ko siya since grade 3. Actually, she was part of Lingkod Angeles, but now she's with Metro Manila. Nag-invite lang siya, email lang. Punta ka dito, may mga ganito. Okay, ako naman, wala lang akong maisip na dahilan na tumanggi. Tsaka nga kalat-kalat nga ako parang, sige, punta ako dyan. And, nasa ano pa lang kami nun Villa Victoria pa. Kung sino yung mga taga San Fernando dito? Very good. Wala. Wala. Sayang. May sasama-sana ako pa uwi. So anyway, so San Fernando kasi, before kasi Villa Victoria yun malapit sa Inter. So, and I was really struck kasi kung pasok ko pa lang dun sa venue, parang nakakatuwa lang, parang lahat nakangiti. Parang lahat walang problema. Yung mga men, yung mga women, parang they would treat you as family. Na minsan mapapaisip ako, totoo ba to? Totoo ba to na parang wala kayong problema? Pero sige, ako go along lang. Sige, hi, hello. I'm Paolo, I'm Fernando. So, of course, it's really, at that time, nakakatuwa na to see new faces Parang okay, lumalaki yung circle of friends ko. Kunwari, friends tayo, rubbing elbows. And then, I was also listening, of course, syempre, merong speaker, makikinig. So, okay naman Okay naman at first yung parang, okay naman, wala namang masama din sa mga talks. Okay naman. Ako madalas nakaupo ako dito sa harapan. Madalas just being attentive about it. And actually, there was a time during those, of course, yung series yun series of meetings yun. Until one time, yung discussion leader ko, actually, yung course leader pala at the time, he told us to undergo confession. Actually, dun ako na-strike. Kasi yung last confession ko, I was 30 at that time. Huwag na kayo magbilang I was 30 at that time, and the last time that I had confession was when I was first year high school. Ganun katindi. Kasi there were circumstances in my life at that time na parang yun nga dahil nag-practice Catholic na ako parang okay naman, di ba? Okay naman na parang direct. Parang if I ever had a life to heaven, parang direct pwede naman May mga palusot pa ako nun na pwede naman, kahit walang parang confess naman, di ba? Pwede mo direct line to God. And at the time, I really had a struggle. Nag-struggle talaga ako dun. Parang, kailangan ko bang pagdaanan doon? And that was the very moment na doon ko naramdaman na parang kinabog ako ng Diyos. Kinabog ako ng Diyos na ano ba? All this time, you've been hearing about me. All this time that I've showed myself to you. Parang that was the particular time that I really had to decide. Ano ba? Kay God ba ako? Hindi. Pero pa nga instance na hindi ako pumasok ng trabaho. Nung na yun, weekend kasi yun ano namin is during a Saturday. So, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, talagang pinag-isipan kong mabuti talaga. Ano nangyayari sa akin? Magpapari ba ako? Ganun. Yung yung thinking ko Pero, yun nga, siguro dahil malakas yata yung pagdadasal ng mga Lingkod Angeles Lingkod brothers and sisters, parang I just saw myself going to the cathedral sa San Fernando without me knowing na meron pa ng confession time at that time. So, ayun so sige, punta ako doon and right there, I don't know who the priest was. Pero nung pagpasok ko doon sa confession area, doon ko na binuhos lahat ng mga naging kasalanan ko. And I just felt that it was all about shame. Shame of the things that I've done previously. Shame, it's about pride. And I just really felt the Lord was really doing something in my life at the time. And yun nga habang nag-confession ako, talagang hagulgol bata, hagulgol sanggol. although siyempre hindi ko na alam kung anong ginagawa ng pare at the time. Basta ako, I'm just pouring my heart to the Lord. I'm pouring my heart to the priest, saying all the things that I have done that I'm shameful about, that I'm guilty of. And right after that confession, I just really felt a big weight that was been lifted to me. Dun sa puso ko. And I just really felt the joy and peace coming from the Lord. And from that time on, tuloy-tuloy na yung pag-singles ko kay God. Of course, hindi naman, stating that, hindi ko naman sa sinasabi na perfect. Of course, I still have my shortcomings, I still have my weaknesses, but because of that relationship with Jesus Christ, with God, laging nare-renew yun. Because remember, it was Jesus, it was God who initiated that personal relationship. And I hope and I pray, brothers and sisters, that you would decide whom to follow. Gaya na sinabi ko, out of God's love, He gave us free will. Hindi tayo pinipilit. Alam ko, some of you have been invited here, hopefully hindi na-drug, but it's a personal decision. It's a personal decision for us to love and follow Jesus Christ. And I made that response, and I hope and I pray that Jesus is knocking in your hearts right now, and I hope and I pray that we will also have that particular response. Kung gaano binigay ng Diyos ang pag-ibig niya sa atin, whether faithful tayo, whether mababait tayo, whether may mga ginawa tayong kalokohan from the past, God's love didn't change. Even until now, mahal tayo ng Diyos. And it's for us to respond to that particular love. And as I conclude, I stand at the door and knock. If anyone hears my voice and opens the door, I will come in to him and will dine with him. Hopefully, brothers and sisters, my response is like the response of our other brothers and sisters in God. And I pray that you would meet Jesus Christ in a personal and complete way. God bless us all.
Well, thank you so much, Pao. Pasalamatan ulit natin si Paolo. So how nice, no, to learn about the mission of Jesus Christ. So last week, as I said kanina, nakilala natin who is Jesus Christ. This week may mission pala talaga siya. Hindi lang siya parang pangalan lang, hindi lang siya parang character lang na lumitaw sa history. Jesus Christ had a mission. And kanina I was telling you about perspective, diba? And during the way that I spoke, parang lumilitaw na insignificant tayo. But I hope, pagkatapos magsalita ni Pao sa harap, I hope nabaliktad yun. I hope nabaliktad yung perspective na yun. Na no matter how small we may feel in our personal lives right now, kung ano-ano man yung problema ang hinaharap ng bawat isa sa atin, kung ano man yung mga life decisions na mabibigat na dinadala ng bawat isa sa atin, kung ano man yung emptiness, brokenness, pagkalito, pagkawala, or sadness na nararamdaman natin, we are significant pa rin. And there's a reason why Jesus Christ became part of human history. Because each of us ay part ng kanyang mission. Malinaw ba yun sa atin? Is it clear to us?
Yes.
The problem is, even if we hear it said that way, we might say na, si Jesus yun eh. He may have a mission. Anong kinalaman nun sa akin? Do I have a mission? May mission din ba ako? Bakit ko kailangan malaman ng tungkol sa mission niya? Well, meron nang patatayuin dito. Patutunayan niya na bawat isa sa atin may mission. At lahat ng nangyayari sa buhay may purpose. At kadalasan, yung mga purposes na yun, may kinalaman dun sa mission pala natin. Baka yung iba sa atin, nandun na sa punto ng buhay na yun, ng buhay natin, na iniisip natin, ano ba yung mission ko? Ano ba yung mission ko? Well, makinig kayo sa kwento ng, well, tatawagin ko na siyang brother ko, sabi ni Pao kanina, magtawagan daw tayong brother and sisters. Hindi, magtawagan na tayong brothers and sisters. Tatawagin ko siyang brother. So, makinig tayo sa kwento ng brother na to, kung paano kinatok ng Panginoon ang kanyang puso, ang kanyang buhay, kung paano niya naramdaman ang passion ng misyon sa kanyang buhay. Kilala niyo to? I think may kalahati ng kwartong to kilala siya. At kung kalahati hindi may kilala sa kanya, magkumpisa kayo, malaking kasalanan yan. So, itong brother na to, sa mga nakakakilala, kailangan ko siyang ibuko sa pagpapakilala ko sa kanya. Unang encounter ko sa kanya, napakatahimik na tao. Walang halong biro, personal, cross my heart. Nasa isang sulok, tumitingin-tingin lang. Hindi magsasalita kung hindi mo kakausapin. Pangako, ganun siya nung una ko siyang nakilala. No? Ganun siya nung una ko siyang nakilala. Napakamahiyain. Iniisip ko nga, makikita ko pa ba ulit itong lalaki? Ito lang parang ayaw, parang takot sa tao. Pero lo and behold, balik siya ng balik eh. Balik ha, dahil sa food? Balik siya ng balik eh. And then little by little, nag-open up siya ng open up. And we had one of the most joyous brothers na na-experience ngayon. At hindi lang ako na-experience, I think buong kwartong to na-experience yung joy niya. Yung joy na dala niya pag nagsasalita siya. Maybe that's part of his mission. I'm also excited to know that's part of his mission. So, para malaman na natin lahat. At para patunayan niya na totoo ang sinasabi ko nung una ko siyang nakilala, napakatahimik ng lalaki, napaka-misteryoso niyang lalaki. Let me call on ang napakagwapong brother. Ba't may isip? Nasira yung momentum ko. Let me call on ang napakagwapong brother. Isa sa mga haligi ng SIA Philippines. Babagsak ang SIA kung wala siya. So babagsak din ang ekonomiya ng flat kung wala siya. One of the brothers who brings joy to every room he enters. Let me call on magiging Pope John Paul III siguro siya. Let me call on John Paul de Liga.
Good evening, brothers and sisters. And, okay. So, pwede ko bang marinig kasi sabi ni Abby sa akin, nakakupo na pala dun si Abby. So, brothers and sisters, I'm just going to start my personal testimony with the Lord. And this is how He sent me to mission. Dalawa kasi ang PT ko, but because it's a mission, so I'm going to tell you how He sent me in this mission. Ay! Ang ganda no, ang ganda. Nakaka-touch na, nakaka-touch. I'm John Paul Daliba from Roa City, Capiz. And I doubt most of you here thinking and questioning papaano nakapunta ako dito sa Central Luzon, ang layo-layo ng Region 6. Region 6 is composed of Iloilo, Calibo, Capiz. So Central Luzon is yung gitna ng Luzon. June 2016, isang probinsyano ang dumayo sa Metro Manila and decided to take a licensure exam. Ganon ba kayo, Regine? June 2016, isang probinsyano ang dumayo mula sa Metro Manila and decided to take the license exam at the same time maghanap ng trabaho. Kasi during that time, in demand sa field namin ng aviation industry at hanggang ngayon naman. At akala ko ganun lang siya kadali kasi sa Metro Manila, Since Metro Manila ka na, Metro Manila is lahat meron. Say it, Metro Manila, have it. Tama, di ba? But I'm wrong. Mahirap palang makipagsabayan since ang mga kasama ko ay may mga malalakas at mga magagandang experience pagdating sa field ng trabaho namin. Magandang works, nawala ako tuloy. And maganda nga yung work experience nila, at the same time, wala din sa point ko ang humindi. Kasi never sa dictionary ko ang humindong sumuko. Never once hindi ako sumusuko. Alam nila yun kung gano'n mga competitive brothers and sisters. And hanggang sa isang invitation na natanggap ko mula sa Lincoln, Manila from Bert Araza. That was June 6, 2014. And he invited me to attend CLS katulad po ng ginagawa natin ngayon. Sa loob ko, alam ko na kung anong nangyayari sa Lincoln. Kasi I knew Lincoln bago pa ako pumunta sa Manila. Kasi my best friend, Lotlot Kahayagan of Lincoln, Mactan, and Cebu, she always invited me to Lincoln activities. Dasal-dasal, taas-taas ng kamay, marami pa. So talagang alam ko what is Lincoln all about. At that time, ang sabi ko sa sarili ko, trabaho ang hinahanap ko, hindi Lincoln. Nung pagpunta ko ng Manila. Kasi hindi para sa akin yung taas-taas kamay. Hindi para sa akin yun, yo. Kasi when Bert invited me, and I replied, busy po ako sir sa pag-aasikaso ng license ko. Kahit hindi man ako, para lang yung nagiging excuses ko that time. Baka next time po, pag free po ako, pupunta ako, and the conversation end na. So yun yung mga reason ko that time nung ini-invite ako ni Bert Araza. And dumating sa punto siguro, baka nainis na rin si Bert, nagsumbong dun sa best friend ko, sa Lincoln, Mactan. So, tinext na siguro si Lotlot, then Lotlot, tell me na, at sabi ni Lotlot sa akin, nawala tuloy ako. And time to time kasi kinakamusta ako ni Bert, consistent yung brother, matibay, ayaw magpatibag sa mga reason ko. Ganon sila ka-consistent sa Lincoln, Manila. Malamang nakaramdam din si Bert that time. Sinumbong ko kay Lotlot doon sa best friend ko. Ang sabi ni Lotlot sa akin from Lincoln, Mactan, inihabiling kita sa mga kapatid from Manila kasi wala kang family dyan. Kaya punta ka, try mo lang, isang beses lang. Pag ayaw mo, di na kita pipilitin. Basta try mo lang bago ka umayaw. Yun ang bilin sa akin ni Lotlot. Naman, bakit ba ako hindi nang di pa nga ako nag-try? So June 16, 2014, Bert invited me again. At walang ano-ano, napayes po ako sa wakas. Napayes ako ni Bert, walang ano-ano. Since napayes ako, pumunta ako at lalaki tayo, kinakailangan kong panindigan yung yes ko. At pumunta ako noong June 20, 2014. So 4 days before, after ako na-invite ni Bert, pumunta na ako ng Lincoln, Manila. And that Friday, imagine, wala si Bert Araza. Siya nag-invite sa akin, wala siya doon. Because he's been in Lincoln, he's been Cagayan de Oro that time for a training. So, Zao Karandang assisted me, Zao Karandang of Lincoln, Manila assisted me and take over para makadalo ko. Sa bungad pa lang ng venue, makikita mo na kung gaano kasaya yung mga tao. Tawa sila ng tawa at support ng support. In that moment, sabi ko din, magiging masaya din. Sana gusto ko din maging masaya katulad nila. When I entered the venue, the talk is about to start. And the title of the talk is, Who is Jesus Christ? The second talk of CLS. After that talk, may sharing at doon, naramdaman ko kung gaano sila kasuporta sa paghahanap ko ng trabaho. Dahil sila may mga magagandang trabaho. May mga attorney, may mga accountant, nurses, and doctor. Sabihin mo lang, meron sila doon. Para nga silang company. And they don't care kung ano ka ba. They have one goal, the goal to serve the Lord and have fruitful relationship to one another. In that very moment, I said to myself, I want to be one of them. See, yung umaayaw nung una, mananatili pala. And from June to August, I attended Lincoln and also finding my job, but mailap sa akin yung trabaho. Buti pa si NDRRMC nag-text. Mag-ingat palagi. during that time, I asked the Lord, Lord, bakit wala? Bakit wala pa rin akong trabaho? Kasi naglilingkod naman ako. Bakit wala akong trabaho? And alam the Lord na ginagawa kong free passes ang lingkod para bigyan niya ako ng trabaho. And the Lord chose to remain silent. And that time, tahimik lang siya. Sa kabila ng mga complaints ko, Lord, araw-araw na to, bakit wala pa din? Kaya ang dami kong pinasahan ng resume, interview dito, interview doon, nothing happens hanggang sa dumating sa punto na kahit ano na lang papasukin ko para lang magkatrabaho. Kasi feeling ko that time, yung mga kaibigan ko kasi nagtatrabaho na tapos ako wala. And nasabi sa akin ng kaibigan ko, yung moon and sun does not comparison, they are just shining if they are the right time. And then just magpatuloy pa rin kasi baka na di naririnig ni Lord yung paglalambing ko. Kasi sa dami ba naman ang kumakausap sa Kanya, baka less prior, nasa ano pa ako, nasa pang 1 million priority sa mga kumakausap niya. And that time, pag-attend ko ng likod activity kasi wala akong ginagawa, tuloy-tuloy pa din. Pupunta pa rin ako ng likod. Natutuwa ako sa pamilyang tulingan namin sa isa't isa. Kasi nagiging pamilya ko sila sa Manila at talagang ibang support nila sa isa't isa. Di basta-basta. Basta may Philippines, diba? Alam nila yon. A relationship that has been founded by love and to serve God. September 5, 2014, namatay po yung notes ko. Wait na po namatay. Naghang yung notes ko, my goodness. Wait, naghang. Okay. September 5, 2014, I committed myself to the Lord. And that time, I said to the Lord, yes, Lord, para po ako sa inyo. And September 8, 2014, tumawag yung CA Engineering Philippines at sinabi sa akin na magsa-start ka na ng training mo. So, di ba? Ang galing nung turnover. And that time, that was the great maneuver of my life. Kasi, nung mga times na nagsasabi ako kay Lord na bigyan mo ako ng trabaho, hindi niya ako binibigyan. Kasi hinihintay na pala akong maging committed member ng lingkod para makapunta dito sa lingkod Angeles at maging kaagapay ng kanyang lingkod. Kasi during that time, iniisip ko, if binigyan niya ako ng work sa Manila, 6 months yun, best. So, kinakailangan mong probationary, OT-OT, wala kang time. Mawawalan ako ng time kay Lord. Siloso pala si Lord. So that time, inalaw niya muna akong maging committed member ng lingkod bago binigyan ng work kasi alam niyang mga kailangan ang lingkod Angeles sa akin. And He want me to serve here at ipakita ko sa mga kaopisina ko kung gaano ba dapat ang relationship ng brothers and sisters. And ihanda ako ng Panginoon bago ako lumabas sa mundo. Ipinakita niya sa akin kung anong meron ng mundo niya paglabas ko sa totoong mundo. At ang mundo ng Panginoon ay ibang-iba sa mundo natin, brothers and sisters. So doon ko na-realize na have patience in time. Diba? Kasi ng time na yon, nagmamadali ako lahat-lahat. Hindi ko man lang iniisip na everything has a purpose. Kumbaga, step by step, one at a time, sabi ni Lord. Ako ang bahala. You're just a worker of the Master and I am the Master. Magtrabaho ka lang kung para ko anong sinabi ko sa iyo. In that time, brothers and sisters, the Lord reminds me always na patient. Pag masaya ka, isama mo ko sa kasayahan mo dahil ako ang nagbigay niya. If malungkot ka, hayaan mo kung maging parte ng kalungkutan mo dahil sasamahan kita. So, I know brothers and sisters, most of you here, may mga katulad ng kwento din sa akin. Mahaba pang piti ko, pero sabi ni Lord, puputulin kita. And to remind you everyone, just have patience, have faith to the Lord, and remind this and put this in your mind that the best wine served in a feast is fermented by time and not just by the glimpse of our eyes. Thank you, brothers and sisters.